First of all, thanks a lot for your time. We loved your session. I just want to start off with asking you what's the story behind Questbook and what's your vision for the company.
Sure. Yes, so look, one of the I've been contributing to crypto for quite some time now. One of the things that comes up again and again and again is there are not enough contributors. Right, so there are a lot of these interesting projects that are being built. A lot of developers who want to get into this space, but that connection somehow is not happening. Right, so people are not able to contribute to interesting projects, and because of which I feel the rate of digital innovation is being hampered. Right? So the reason I'm in Web3, as you have probably heard in the talk as well, is I'm excited by the fact that Web3 can accelerate digital innovation. And of course, for the innovation to happen, you need to connect the talent with the appropriate work opportunities. So we are basically connecting work and the workforce. So that's the real agenda with which we started off Questbook. Now, through 2021, the opportunity we spotted was, hey, look, there are not enough developers in this space. So we started this educational program. We had about 16,000 people who went through that courses. We have about 100 courses now. And so those people started coming back to us and asking. A lot of those are like, I saw them as fellows over here now. It is very fulfilling. So they started asking us this question: hey, we've done all your courses. What should we be doing next? So that's where we realized the way to do it is to go contribute to some of these projects. A lot of these grant programs out there. That's a great way for people to get started. Polygon has a really strong grant process. Devfolio is also deeply involved. So like there are these opportunities that exist, and we're just making the connections happen between the work and the workforce.
So you mentioned you did a lot of like courses, 100 odd courses and 15,000, 16,000 people kind of did that. I'm just thinking like there are a lot of like abundant resources out there for Web3, right? What would kind of developers focus on to cut through all of that noise and just focus, mainly look at?
That's a great question. So first of all, like when we were creating all this content, this statement was not true. Like there was not enough content. So right now, of course, there's a lot of content. That's also kind of the reason we said, this problem is probably being solved by somebody else as well. We don't need to resolve this problem. So like how does a developer determine is still a very, very open question. It depends on which platforms you want to build on, what kind of application. So if you want to build a DeFi application, you have to be involved in a very different circle. If you're building something in NFT, if you're building something in dev tooling. So I think the right way to approach it is, in my opinion, still grants. Like grants is a fantastic way for builders to get started. And the way that you should do it is go apply for grants in the context of what you are planning to build, and that will get you involved in that community, in that space, so that you can iterate faster.
So what factors do you think like developers should look at before applying for a grant program, right? And what will kind of make their project stand out when they're applying for grants?
First of all, it should not be a copycat. The biggest problem that we are seeing right now when you're helping all these grants program run is most of the applications that are coming in are copy-paste. Solana has this, we're going to implement it on Polygon. Harmony has this, we're going to implement it. It's not interesting. It's like, are you building something that is actually innovative, that is a huge if to kind of prepare. You also have to look at grants from the perspective of the people who are giving out the grants. Right? So now Polygon is giving out a grant. In some sense, it's very similar to an investment, right? So you can think of this like an angel investment or even earlier, without taking equity, of course. But Polygon is also thinking, hey, what are the projects, if they exist, will be valuable to us, right? So Polygon has to be thinking about that. All of the protocols that are giving out grants are thinking the same way. Hey, how can we make our own platform more valuable if more projects exist? So you have to have a very compelling case as to, hey, if these projects exist, this is how your product will become more valuable, hence you should give me a grant.
Awesome.
Thinking that through is important.
Got it. And what do you think kind of it will take for Web3 to reach the next billion users, right? everybody keeps asking this.
Yes, and in fact, I have a blog that says it is the wrong question to be asking because we don't have to take Web3 or bring billion users into Web3. We have to take Web3 to the billion users. What that means is, in my opinion, I look at Web3 as a very developer-facing technology. It's a tool that we have which enables collaboration to happen between developers without having to build trust. Right? So I can build on top of your, even if you're a scammer, like, I'm not saying you are, like, even if you are, and if you launch a contract, and if it's a clean contract, like I can look at the contract and say, hey, you know what, nothing fishy is happening here. I can build on top of it. I don't need to trust you, or I don't need to trust anybody that this service is going to exist. And this core fundamental in itself is the essence of Web3, that people can build on top of each other, just like open source movement unlocked digital innovation. I think Web3 is also unlocking a different kind of digital innovation, because of which innovation itself will speeden up. And when digital innovation speeds up, well, of course, it will reach the masses. We don't have to explicitly think about, hey, how do I bring people into it? It's not a different, it's nothing different, right? It's like, how do you bring people into technology? Is that a question? No.
In the end, maybe people should not know if they're on Web2 or Web3. It shouldn't matter to them. They should just be having better use cases and using it.
100%. Like we are approaching this wrong right now. How do we bring people into Web3? Again, we confuse ourselves and the end users.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. It was great chatting with you.
Likewise.
Thank you.